Hello and welcome to another update video about Render. Basically no change from the last updates. Render continues to be in this pathway to the downside. And as I said to you before, it's a low probabilities chart. Very hard to say where we are because we haven't got any impulses on this chart. We need impulsive structures on the chart. We don't have these, okay? So it is quite a lot of uncertainty on the chart. We had a break below the ascending wedge pattern. Yeah, the ascending wedge pattern's lower boundary line. Now you can draw them in different ways. You could even say this was the breakout already. Doesn't really matter now, but an ascending wedge broke to the downside, which means we have to focus on lower. I made you aware when that happened, and then I gave you one more line of live support basically at $1.71. That broke as well, so I think we have to focus on a much deeper decline now for Render. I have different support areas on the chart for two different wave counts. In doubt, I would always work with the lower one, and that goes down to 45 cents. Yeah, in doubt, I would always work with the lower one because at the moment, price can still drop much further. So far, it hasn't given us any indication at all that a low is in. Yeah, no indication that a lasting low has been put in place. So I still work on lower at the moment. I still focus on lower. In the last update, I gave you this descending trend line, the dashed lines here, or the dashed line. You can work with that. This is an indication when the downtrend might be broken. Until then, you could use pullbacks to the trend line for possible short setups. I mean, that's really lower time frame stuff, but the trend is at the moment down in the short term, yeah, especially since we broke below the $1.71 level. We also identified at the time a head and shoulders pattern on the chart. And if we just add the target for the head and shoulders now to the chart from the breakout point, it would take us down to around about $1. Honestly, I think the $1 level would be a really, really good target now. It is basically still in support for the orange support area. It is also where a previous swing low was made here around March. Yeah, it came down a little lower, but recovered quite quickly. So $1 is certainly a key support. I'm going to highlight that actually on the chart now. Use this line here, highlight this as a potential level of interest. Now, trend is anyway down. So we have two wave counts. Now they are both bullish, but there is also the potential that this is just an ABC structure and we're going to break down to new lows. I have to point that out. Yeah. Again, it's a low probabilities chart. I mentioned that many times because we have no impulsive price action to the upside. Because we have no impulsive price action to the upside, we don't really have, let's say, that lighthouse that we normally need to determine where we are. It's certainly not a very desirable chart. I mentioned that many times as well, especially not now in a downtrend. So what I would do personally, if I was interested in this, I would just be watching these relevant support levels and see if there is any indication for a low. And if anybody wants to put in some longs, you can always do that below the last swing lows. If there is any indication that a low is in place, for example, through a break below a break above the descending trend line. So they are just levels of interest for now because we need to be aware this could simply be an ABC structure to the upside. It could break down to new lows. We won't really know that until we get a bit more price data and price information. For now, I'm still tracking bullish support levels, obviously, because we still have that uptrend here. And I haven't seen enough levels break to indicate it's bearish. But of course, the warning, as always, this is technically still a lifetime downtrend. It hasn't made a new all-time high and it hasn't rallied in an impulse. Okay, so that's sort of in line with warnings I issued previously, especially now that it broke to the downside of the wedge pattern. Yeah, because what do you know? Typically, the first target of a break of a wedge is the beginning of the wedge. Now that's down here, right? And if we break below 45 cents, then it's turning bearish. So yeah, I mean, I would just be careful here because of the uncertainty on the chart. Again, anything that rallied in three waves is extremely, extremely uncertain because it could turn into a triangle. It could turn into a lot of things. But at the moment, we're tracking those support levels. So the next one, yeah, and basically the first wave count assumes we are in a wave 4. Relevant support here, $1.35, $1.07, 84 cents. Below 84 cents, we have clarity. It's certainly not a wave 4 anymore. Then this would be even more bearish. The only bullish option then that we would have is that this was a wave 1. but in only 3 waves. So it could easily be an ABC structure. So if we break below 84 cents, that is also when I will bring the bearish count on the chart. At the moment, I think it's enough to know that it of course exists and that the 45 cent level is the lifetime 78.6 retracement. And if the price breaks below that, I think we're going to head to new lows way lower below what we already had. Okay. But yeah, this is my update at the moment. So downtrend still unfolding. No indication that this wave 4 is already over. So yeah, also the last rally here to the upside seems to be only in 3 waves. At the moment, we have a 3-wave move down. So A wave, B wave, and the potential C wave, which could also do with another low actually, but we have 3 waves down. So I can still count it as a wave 4, no problem, as a correction. At some point, we should get a some kind of a reaction to the upside, and then the structure will tell us a lot. Okay, are we already in the wave 5 or not? But these are the levels of interest. Again, at the moment, until the trend line breaks, we have no indication that a low is in place. So the focus needs to be on lower short term. So even though I'm putting ABC here, but maybe I should put it down there so people don't think it's already finished, because there's no indication for it. Yeah, as I said, the last rally here as well, just in 3 waves, as you can see. And it doesn't make sense to add any more micro counting to this chart because it's just moving in corrective structures. It's just moving up in 3 waves, moving down in 3. These can change very quickly, but the relevant support levels should tell you a lot. And the trend is clearly still down. Next support, I would say, is $1.07 and then $1. That's my update about Render. Hope you liked the update. If you did, please hit the like button, leave a comment and subscribe. And if you really like the content, then please check out the channel membership. Thanks a lot for watching. Bye-bye.